Hey everyone, Dr. Sheniqua Johnson here, aka Sheniqua Inspires, and I'm back today to bring you another 3-tip video. Today I have gotten some good feedback from a lot of my viewers, and they said to me, Dr. Sheniqua, you do a multitude of different things. You are a accountability coach, you are a wellness solutionist and strategist, but you're also on the media side, being a podcaster and also having a publishing company. So they wanted to hear a little bit more about the world on the media side, as far as my book publishing, the podcast creation. So I decided to do this series of 3-tip videos based upon that feedback. So I thank you for your feedback, your comments, your questions. And like I said before, I am here to serve. So if there is something in particular that you feel that I do have some expertise in, and you would like for me to do a 3-tips video regarding it, go ahead and shoot me a personal email at drsheniqua@gmail.com. There it is. I've got like 1,000 email addresses, but I want to make certain that you get my personal one so that I will be the one that will be able to read it and manage it. So that's drsheniqua@gmail.com. So let's dive into it before my notes screen fades out. So today's video, I am going to give you 3 tips to start writing your book. Everybody wants to jump straight to being an Amazon best-selling author, but we gotta get started somewhere. So I decided to put together this video to give you some tips. If writing is in your future or not, you may or may not know, but I think this would be a good starting point for you. So the first tip when it comes to starting writing your book is you want to know, this is key, you want to know who you're talking to. A lot of people want to write books based off of their experience, their personal life. You ever been in a conversation with someone and they said, man, the way my life has been going, I could write a book about it. When life starts lifing, and I gave you 3 tips about that on how to stay focused when life starts lifing. I gave that to you before. So you got to make certain you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, Sheniqua Inspires, and you're getting all of these good videos. And so that was one thing, but you've got to know who you're talking to. You don't just want to tell your story because you got a story to tell. Are people going to buy your story? Are people going to relate to your story? And what part of your story is going to be of motivation, inspiration, support, help to someone else? So now if you just want to put your business out on Front Street, well, you don't even really need to write a book about that. You can just start plugging it up on social media. But if you believe that your story is going to be beneficial to someone, that it could help someone, whether to avoid a similar pathway or to be strengthened while they're going through it, then when it comes to starting to write your book, the first tip is going to be to identify who you're talking to. It's kind of similar when we were doing some of the business coaching, the accountability coaching videos, where the first tip is always about knowing who your avatar is. So when you're writing your book or starting to write your book, you want to make certain that you're clear on who your audience is. Is it individuals just like you? Is it individuals who are younger than you? Is it individuals who are older than you in a different profession? So you want to know who you're talking to, so this way you can deliver. Right? So maybe if you're talking to the younger generation, you're not going to be speaking with your language up here like you're, the college professor. You may want to bring it down. I had a lot of people when I used to teach my health coaching class in 2014, from 2014 to 2016, I used to tell them, like, I can flip it up. So I can be in the boardroom talking to the corporate leaders and the decision makers, but then I can also switch it and I can go hang with Pookie and them on the street corner, right? So I have that versatility, and that's based off of my experience. But truth be told, I got to know who I'm talking to. So if I am speaking to the people, in the neighborhood, I might not be able to say certain things, because it may not be relatable. It may not saying that it would go over someone's head, but it just may not be relatable. It may not make me sound like I am knowledgeable in this subject matter. Just because I can throw out a couple of fancy words does not mean that I am an authority. That does not mean that people are going to want to get to know, like, and trust me. And so that's the reason for the switch up. It's not because we have to code switch, but it's necessary because you want people to feel like you have the words that speak directly to them. That's what it's about. So first and foremost, the first tip is to make certain you know who your audience is so that you can customize your message to speak directly to what they are looking for. Okay? The second tip is kind of a classic tip that we normally give, especially in the book writing industry. You'll hear a lot of coaches talking about this. And this tip number 2 is to create a writing schedule. When I was writing my first book, I didn't know my own strength, How My Faith Moved My Mountains. I had myself on a writing schedule because at the time I was working a full-time job. However, I was commuting back and forth into the city. So I had about an hour, some days an hour and a half, because that morning traffic into the city was brutal. So I would have at least an hour, hour and a half in the morning. And then I would have anywhere from about an hour, hour and a half, because that coming back home traffic was tough as well. But I would have that time to focus. And especially since I'm not driving, I'm sitting on a lush bus, I could write then. So I had to train myself to utilize my downtime, right? Because a lot of people say that they don't want to write a book because they don't have time. Oh, I have stuff to say. I know it could be impactful, but I don't have the time. But do you really don't have the time? Or you just are not committed enough to making the time? And that's one of the reasons why knowing your audience becomes super important. Because I remember for me, there was one day that I was in this journey of writing my first book, and I was at work. So one day I was at work, and the night before I had been typing on the computer and something happened. I don't know what happened to this day, you guys. Like, this was back in 2015, and I don't know what happened. Like, I can't really tell you what happened, but my manuscript went into cyberspace. And I'm on the phone with all these tech people, and I'm asking them, and they wanted me to pay these large sums of money, and there was still no guarantee they were going to be able to find my manuscript in cyberspace. So there's another tip for you. When you are starting to write, make certain you always have it backed up somewhere else. And I think that is one of the reasons why I have become such a pen and paper kind of a gal, because this way, at least I have it written down somewhere. Another quick tip is to make certain that you email it to yourself. That's one of the things that I had to learn after my whole, wiped out into cyberspace kind of fiasco. I learned to email wherever I left off. I learned to email that to myself. So at the very least, I would have the latest version available to me if by chance there was some type of computer glitch or what have you. So you have to make certain that you know who it is that you're talking to. And so one day I remember sitting at work and I was so distraught. I had to come into work afterwards. I mean, I should have called out sick, but I had to come in to work afterwards. After losing my manuscript, I was just so distraught. And so I was sitting at my desk and I was feeling defeated. And I was saying to myself, well, maybe this is not the journey that I should be taking. Maybe that was all me, less of God, and I was doing the wrong thing, or maybe it could have been the wrong time, right? And I remember sitting there, and it was after class, and one of my former students, my former students used to always come back to see me. And that was one of the reasons why I loved that job as a health coach instructor, because they would always come back to see me. And so one day while I'm sitting there feeling all defeated, woe it's me, I'm not going to write this book, later for what I have to say, the people can wait. And a young lady came into my classroom, and this young lady, she was like she had a tough exterior when she was in my class. She was real tough like, and I didn't expect her to really come back in to see me because I'm all light and life is good and life is grand, and she was all, serious about everything. But she still was very receptive to my teaching. She did very, very well in my training class. And I remember when she came to visit me, and I just jumped up in normal fashion, and I just instantaneously gave her a hug. And from that hug, she began to cry, like the tears just released from her. And she didn't even realize for a split second that she was even tearing up. And then when she realized that she, trying to wipe it up real quick. But what that moment in time showed me was that my words do matter. My impact, my presence, what I've been through, it does matter because it has shaped me to be who it is that I am today. So just my impact, just my presence alone was able to take a burden off of someone else. So how selfish of me if I would have said, no, I'm not going to write the book. So what? There was a computer glitch and I lost probably about, I don't know, it was definitely half. The manuscript was about 85% done, and it literally set me back. But the nerve of me to be so self-centered to say that the world can wait. Because you know what? Sometimes your target audience can't wait. And that's one of the things that I give as an advice to my book coaching clients is when they're writing, they do need to know, one, who their target audience is. And then two, when they are creating their writing schedule, it should not necessarily be based off of what you got going on and what you want to do. And you got this 5-year plan. Can they wait 5 years? Can your target audience wait 5 years? If your book is about impact, inspiration, showing somebody a better way, uplifting someone who is feeling down, ask yourself the question, can they wait? If the answer is yes, then by all means, create your 5-year plan. I support you. Whatever you need of me, I will be able to, be there to help you. But if they can't wait, your writing schedule needs to chop, chop, chop. You need to get stuff done. So that was the second one, creating a writing schedule. You guys know I got to drink my water because, I'm on a water challenge, right? So I got to make sure I drink my water. And if you don't know about my water challenge, you got to go all the way back to some of the videos that I was doing where I was talking about my health and my wellness journey. So, but we got to drink our water, even if it means we got to do it during the video. That's me holding myself accountable that I did drink my water for the day. Okay. All right. So let's do our recap just in, true form because I am a college professor. Woo-hoo. So number one, so we're giving 3 tips on starting to write your book. And I gave you some other juicy nuggets within there. So make certain you go back, you rewatch this, and you get them all down. But the first tip was to clarify your purpose and know who your audience is. You got to know who you're talking to. Number 2 is to create a writing schedule. Get it in when you can fit it in. If you're, traveling, commuting, I used to like to do a lot of writing on the plane. You want to give yourself the time. So stop saying you don't have time because the time is there. We all have the same 24 hours as everybody else. We just are not utilizing it as effectively as we probably should. And then the third one is to create an outline. Now, I'm telling you this again because this is what a lot of book coaches will advise you on. Because I'm in the industry, because I've been writing since 2015, I kind of know the gist of it. But I have to be honest with you. For myself, I don't always create a book outline. Sometimes I do, especially when I am creating my books, like my latest book, The Power of Choice, Prioritizing Your Well-Being in a High-Stress World. That one I created an outline because that one was more teaching in its nature, and I wanted to make certain that I had all of the principles and then I could fill it up. But a book likened to I Didn't Know My Own Strength, How My Faith Moved My Mountains, that book was more written in the flow. Yeah, if you know, you know. I do prefer to write in the flow. I wrote a book called Creating a Social Media Presence. I wrote that book in the flow. Which other one did I write in the flow? I Am My Business, Quick Tips for Busy Women on the Go so that you can keep going. Yes, so a lot of those books I wrote in the flow. So if you are a flow writer, right? I like that. If you're a flow writer, then creating an outline may not mean the same to you. It could, but it may not. But if you are wanting to teach something, if you want to make certain that you capture your whole story, that you don't forget something, you don't want to be like those, those movies where it goes from here to here to there, here, back there, and you're like, your reader's all confused. I know some people that write like that, where they're telling a story, but they're telling a story as they speak. And so you know how sometimes it is when you're talking about something, you see it classic with me. If you've watched any of my videos, it's classic with me. I'll be talking about A, B, get ready to go to C, and then I'll jump to H, and then I'll jump to M, and then I'll jump to Z, and then I'll come back and I'll hit K, and then I'll do a J and an L, and then I'll go back, and then I'm back at C. A lot of people talk like that, right? Because one thing will trigger another thought, another thought, another thought. But when you're writing, you don't want to have people all scattered all over the place because they're going to put that book down. They're going to be like, I can't even keep up. I give. So an outline is beautiful with keeping you organized and making certain that you're getting your thoughts out in a strategic way that will be beneficial to your audience. So this video was the 3 tips when starting your writing journey. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Look out for some more because I've got some more videos coming up that is going to help you on the media side. And again, please, if you like this video, hit the little like button. If you have a comment, make certain you put your comment there. All positive comments are accepted. All that other shenanigans, you can say that, you can keep that, you can put that on your mama's channel. But for me, any positive comments, if you've got any questions and you feel like you want to put it there, you could. Or you can send me your comments, your questions to my email, drsheniqua@gmail.com. Don't spam me. Don't spam me. I'm not signing up for your program. Don't spam me. But it's legitimately, I want to give you my email address for people who legitimately have questions and may want to continue with their writing journey. And they're just, they just want a little feedback. So I'm always willing in that area. All that other stuff, save it. All right, so you all have a beautiful, blessed day, and I'll see you around on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, all that good stuff that we do over here. Talk to you soon. Take care. Hi everyone, Dr. Sheniqua Johnson here, aka Sheniqua Inspires. I warmly extend an invitation to each of you to explore my website, sheniquainspires.com. Here you can discover a wealth of inspiration through my books, or whether you're seeking to unlock your peak potential with my personalized accountability coaching, or searching for an inspirational speaker for your next event. I'm here to assist you. Let's connect and discuss how we can work together to achieve your goals. Goodbye for now.